Why do you keep speculating in a space like this? Written scams and ruggers and things. Damn me, you be getting liquidated by pretend inefficiency and them useless tokens like this. Why don't you quit so that and they give you your back? So shout that there's some money. Shout till it's just a lie. It's just a real call. I can do say how I did. Deep in your eyes, embrace the light. Come, let's hang around under the light. Have it to you. Embrace the light. Finish on my wild. Salute the light. Embrace the light, motherfucker.
We plugged in. We plugged in. Hold on. Is this wait, oh my god. Does this sound? Does this freaking sound? Oh my goddy god. Does this sound? I wanna know. Yo. Ode up, ode up. I don't even know if this sounds. Yo, give me 1 minute to figure. Okay, yeah, it's sounding. It is sounding. Okay, right. Beautiful. We're gonna have to run that intro again. Oof. I don't know how I did that. What? Cool. I guess. Well, welcome back to another episode of the Lite Hour live stream. The Lite Hour live stream is a Litecoin dedicated live stream that we host on the Flipping Finance Beat every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 5 p.m. EST. So if you're looking for a space where you can continue to join the conversation, if you're a Litecoin supporter, or if if you just have a casual interest in Litecoin, or if you're a Litecoin hater and you just need somewhere to, come follow the things you hate. I don't know. Some people are kind of into that type of thing. Well, the Light Hour live stream is definitely where you need to be because, of course, this is where we find creative ways to keep the conversation going. So, of course, we host it as usual Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 5 p.m. EST, except the final week of each month. Okay, so that's the day you're not gonna catch a Light Hour live stream. But every other Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, you're gonna have us. And if we're gonna have any breaks, well, we're gonna announce it in advance. Anyway, so today I don't really have much to talk about, honestly, because the market's been not so good. I'll pull up the charts briefly and talk about a few things briefly. But what I really want to do today is just hang out and script because I'm writing a new sketch. And I don't know. I don't know what the new sketch is going to be about. I haven't come up with anything. I just want to just sit here and script something. Like my mind is actually blank, and I'm hoping that I'm gonna be able to like come up with something that's great. And essentially, that's what we're gonna be doing today for the majority of today. So, if that's your thing, you're gonna like you're gonna you might like this. Anyways, go ahead, like and subscribe. If you're joining us on YouTube, of course, and if you're joining us on X, follow the page so you do not miss subsequent episodes of the Light Hour live stream. Now, one thing that's very interesting that I've noticed about X today is that X is not posting. X no longer makes posts of my streams automatically. Now, before when I did my streams, what happened was your streams get automatically posted. So it's like a post. And so people can see that post and they can sort of like, join your live stream or whatnot. But now it just shows that I'm live and it doesn't make that post. And it appears that I'm going to have to make that post myself every stream. And honestly, I don't think I'm going to. whatever that is. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and post the stream before I start anything else. But this is quite frustrating actually. It's pretty sad. I don't know if this is a me thing or this is an X thing, but yeah, this is definitely not something that I really like. It's not a cool development. It's not a welcome development at all. It's something that's pretty shit. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, I don't know why X has been getting like increasingly useless when it comes to like these streams, to the point where honestly I didn't want to use stream on X before. I didn't want to stream on X today. I just thought I'm just gonna do my thing on YouTube. But then I decided to give it a try. Nah, still the same problem. But I'm going to try to make a post of this, and you guys just going to give me 1 second, and then we're going to go into today. But today, guys, I saw something pretty interesting. I don't know if the rest of y'all saw it. I saw a clip where Sailor was talking very positively about Litecoin, guys. Litecoin. That's crazy. That's like so crazy. Like, if you're like, if for those that might not know Sailor, right? Oh my God. You guys can kind of like hear that, right? I'm trying to make a post on X. Sorry. Anyways, so yeah, he did make a post about Litecoin. Pretty interesting post that he did make a statement about Litecoin. Yeah, pretty interesting thing he said about Litecoin. Positive things actually, and it's actually making me like, it's bringing up, of course, lots of questions in my head, like, right, are we close to the point where Sailor divest into Litecoin? Are we there yet? Should we celebrate? Are we there yet? Those kind of questions have kind of been popping up in my head. And yo, bro, okay, I have made a post of this stream so people can see it. And okay. I think now that I've done that, I can now go back to focusing squarely on the stream. Yeah. All right. Back to where we are. So yeah, Sailor made a statement, and I'm gonna pull up that video. I think that's what we're gonna start with, right? It's gonna be the first thing we're gonna talk about. Sailor talking positively about Litecoin, and it was Master that posted the clip. Now, when I first saw the clip from Master, what I thought was, okay, because I know this, what's her name again, Randy Heeper. She essentially, what she does is that she does this little thing where it's kind of like a gimmick show where Peter Schiff is like talking, and she sort of like edits herself in, and she's like in the conversation, and then she gives a response, and it's kind of like a troll video or something like that. And I thought like maybe that's what this is, right? I mean, I'm seeing John Kim and of course Michael Saylor in this stream. I'm like, okay, someone stitched this up, right? But no, he did in fact reference John Kim in the video. He did talk about John Kim in the video. Pretty interesting, actually. Pretty interesting. And yeah, so I thought I should bring that up, and I'm just looking for the video. Y'all just give me 1 minute, because like I'm really starting to feel, I don't know if I'm gonna like take, I don't know if this is a bit of a stretch, right? But it makes me feel like there is a possibility, like no matter how tiny it is, right? No matter how speculative it is, it just means there's like a teeny tiny percent possibility that Michael Saylor, may just make that like divestment into Litecoin and probably allocate something to Litecoin. Okay, I have the clip right here. I'm just gonna pull it up. So here we go. Here we go. Boom. I think I've got it. Now I need to bring it up the stage. Ta-da! All right. So we're gonna watch the video. We're gonna see exactly
In the
what he
digital
said.
world,
So
coffee
I have
purchases with
to
it,
zoom that in.
and Google, and I think
Yeah,
Google
go up.
let you make
Start again.
coffee. You
Start again. Start again. Start again.
You make
I feel like a DJ. I start again.
you make coffee purchases with it, and Google, and I think Google and Apple and Amazon, they'll all eventually come in, and they're digital networks. And then I think there's crypto networks, and Litecoin is an example of an innovative crypto. And there's going to be Litecoin. There's going to be people working on privacy, people working on more speed, people working on more smart contracts, people working on DeFi in the crypto community. And they're going to work to try to plug some of the other, what they perceive as functionality gaps. And as long as they all do a good job of engineering into Bitcoin, then they can find their place. It'll be competitive. Litecoin's got to compete in the crypto world. And then PayPal's got to compete with Square and Apple and the like in the digital world. I think that Bitcoin is going to be the dominant emerging monetary network. And no matter, whether Apple or Amazon or Google or Facebook or Square or PayPal wins, doesn't matter. Bitcoin's going to win. And with Litecoin, with you, John, as the promoter, I'm sure Litecoin is going to do better than the other cryptos in solving Litecoin solves. So you just go to it, my man.
I love Michael. I love Michael Saylor like a fat kid loves cake. It's the truth. It's the truth. All right.
Okay, now that was hilarious. That was absolutely hilarious. Now, again, like I said, I did not know that this clip was original. Like at first, I saw the clip and I thought, wait, what? Like, is this even real? And then I saw, of course, where he sort of like lauded John. I was like, okay, he lauded Johnny, and I'm like, okay, now this is actually some real shit. And I kind of like the way he put it, right? Because again, this is not Michael Saylor's first time, mentioning Litecoin. He's mentioned Litecoin before in a clip where I think it was on X Spaces, and he was talking about there's just like a dozen crypto out of like 12,000, 14,000, 20,000, however many tens of thousands of them that are out there now, millions, by the way, that can actually be be considered commodity status, right? Can actually claim commodity status, in front of the SEC, in front of the CFTC. And ultimately, that was not even the first time, or that was not even the only time. He's actually name dropped Litecoin a couple of times, and now talking about Litecoin and calling Litecoin an innovative crypto and saying, of course, it's gonna have to compete and all of this. It just shows that Litecoin, in fact, has it kind of is occupying a space in Michael Saylor's mind. There's a Litecoin mindshare. Litecoin is taking so much mindshare in his mind, and I'm not gonna cut off a possibility. I just want to know what that thought of Litecoin in his brain is gonna evolve into once Litecoin starts performing, right? I mean, he's talking about this general sentiment towards Litecoin is kind of apathy at this point, right? Because even the way he's talking about it, he's trying to be more conservative, right? He's not going into it going oh, Litecoin's great. I mean, it's just because the price is where it is. It's not really performed in any significant way over the last how many years. But right now, this is how he's talking. I want to know what that mind share, that Litecoin position, the Litecoin thought in his mind is gonna evolve into once Litecoin start performing. So when Litecoin is in about 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, what is he gonna do? What is he gonna say? Is he gonna be able to resist the urge to just allocate again? Because he already has a kind of a soft spot for Litecoin at this point, right? He kind of at least considers it better than the others. And, he kind of alludes to that when he jokingly said, oh yeah, I mean, Johnny promoting Litecoin, of course it's going to be better than most of the coins out there. That's just a nice way of putting it without sounding without pissing off the maxes, in my opinion, from my own perspective, right? So if this is really what he thinks right now, what will he think, or what will be his perspective once Litecoin starts going to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and Bitcoin struggles, right? Because I see, I don't know, not a lot of people see this. I see a very, big possibility that like Litecoin gets to $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, and essentially Bitcoin struggles, and not just like it struggles and it goes to zero. No, like it struggles in the sense that it, of course, maybe it gets to all-time highs, but like it's not really doing multiples, and Litecoin is where all the volatility is at. In that case, like, what will be the reason why he ignores Litecoin? There's not a lot of reasons why he would continue to, he would be able to like logically justify a situation where he ignores Litecoin. There's just not going to be a reason like that. So what is his opinion going to morph into? What is he gonna start saying about Litecoin? And does it then grow into a point where he just has no choice but to diversify, has no choice but to divest into Litecoin, maybe give it a 1% allocation or whatnot? Because that, in that case, that's going to be like a much more sustainable business model. Because not only will he not really be breaking any of his technical standpoints, right? I mean, of course, it's like a digital commodity, just like Bitcoin, fairly mined, fairly distributed, natural network effects, and all of that. And it's a it's a lower beta play, so you can kind of like have that to balance things out. There has to be a particular price performance point that Litecoin gets to, and Saylor has literally no other choice but to just capitulate, right? It's just sort of like, whatever, I can't ignore this forever, especially when you consider how he currently is quite positive about Litecoin. And I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, I just said I should talk about that, right? I wouldn't be surprised at all if Bitcoin's at what, we're reclaiming 120,000 Bitcoin, Litecoin's at 3,000, and Saylor goes, okay, you know what, we're actually considering adding Litecoin too. We're gonna LTC STRK or something like that. It's gonna be pretty interesting. Like odds of events like this happening are kind of like part of things that makes me very excited about like Litecoin in general, because you just know if it happens, like it's going to be crazy, and the valuations we're going to need to achieve before these type of things happen are like very lofty valuations. Like, so the upside potential is just there. It's just so excited. I don't know, some people don't see it. It's kind of strange, but yeah, I mean I see it. A lot of other people see it, and yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I guess that's essentially all I want to talk about when it comes to that video and that clip of Saylor. So pretty interesting to see. So yeah, next thing I want to talk about, of course, if you want to get a Litecoin merch, you need to go check out my guys 84 million at 84million.com/shop. Now, I'm friends with the guys at 84 million. They're really cool, and I'm not putting on an 84 million merch today because I have not done my laundry, and I've kind of like exhausted all of my of what I have. But yeah, you can go check 84million.com/shop to get yourself an 84 million merch. So they do cool Litecoin merch. They do hoodies, they do t-shirts and other stuff. So if you're a Litecoin supporter, if you're a Litecoin hater, if you're a Litecoin anything, you should go check 84million.com/shop, because these guys are pretty freaking cool. And of course, they have really cool Litecoin merch for whatever the season it is. So yeah, with that being said, I guess now we're just gonna pull up the charts and look at what's going on with LTC. LTC is kind of like at that point where, and guys, it's pretty interesting, right? How what LTC does in the markets kind of very accurately represents itself on CT. I'm gonna say that crypto Twitter is a very effective way of knowing exactly how people feel or how people are reacting to the markets. And right now, Litecoin looks like apathy, right? This looks like apathy. It looks like, yeah, this is done. It's just slow death from here. Litecoin does not look like it's about to collapse into nothingness, like straight one candle down. It looks like it's about to slowly bleed. At least that's how the chart is kind of positioned. And that's kind of like reflected itself. Like there's only like 10, 15 people that are still on, CT, still like liking Litecoin posts, besides those that are actually like following the official handle. And I think that's very interesting to see, right? Okay, we've got Edward the Lee here. Super strange. LTC needs a spark. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. Yeah, LTC in fact does need a spark. It does. But I'm not too concerned, right? I try not to sound like this, right, on streams, because of course I don't want to sound like I'm not understanding how other people feel about the markets. Like a lot of people have very, very high average prices, right? We have a lot of people that bought like above $100. That's like their average, their LTC average. And at this prices, they're not smiling. So I'm not just gonna like, try to like ignore that or act like that doesn't mean anything. But like, in my opinion, right, and this is just my opinion, this LTC, the 3-month chart kind of looks like it can in fact sustain more downward pressure for like 2 more 3 months candles, as long as they're not too wild, maybe settle above the close of this 3-month candle, and I don't know, January of 2014, the open of this candle, January 2014, kind of like find a way to support itself there before it ultimately springboards. So that's a possibility. And FYI, I don't really like bringing like TA tools. I just like to, I don't know, just free ball stuff over here. So if you're coming here expecting any significant TA, don't do that, bro. That's not where we're gonna. Not what we do here, of course. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, personally, I won't be surprised. Like, Litecoin actually can sustain something like this. So a situation where we see something similar to this, and you just give me 1 minute to get this all put here. Just red candles, multiple red candles, and then kind of like maybe a week and a springboard, right? So so pretty much something like this. So yeah, as strange as this looks, it's just a possibility, right? It's a possibility. It's a legit possibility that like the 3-month candle sort of like allows. But yeah, it's just a formation like this will end up looking like more like a megaphone or something. I don't know. I guess so. Because then it's gonna question all the triangles. It's gonna put all the triangles to question, and then people are gonna try to like draw megaphones on it if that happens. But it's a possibility, right? It's a possibility, and I'm just saying where Litecoin currently is at. These are not end of the world levels. They're just very depressing for people, and I get that, right? So this is something that Litecoin absolutely can do. I mean, the chart can sustain it without absolutely breaking to shit. So it's just something people should be open to, at least. Like, the 3-month candle kind of like has the luxury of just pulling off something that's that crazy, and you just have to take it as what it is. And a market flush like that will probably be very cool. I mean, just you imagine that, right? Imagine what, like, Litecoin dropping like that. Imagine what it's gonna do to like the rest of this meme coin markets, right? This meme coins, the shit coins that everyone's kind of like, that everyone's kind of like piled into. Imagine what's going to happen to all of that. Like, all of that's just going to get like wiped out. And yeah, it's a possibility, right? It's a possibility. It's probably going to be, it's something that we're going to see at the end of the day. We just have to watch out. Posterity will always, provide some of the best clarity. But until then, all we can do is watch and enjoy the brutal games, I guess. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Bitcoin's been looking so shitty. I've been reading a lot of like TA posts about Bitcoin. Essentially, like, one of the ones I like is the one where they're talking about like, Bitcoin, the volatility. If Bitcoin breaks the level that it currently is at, like the volatility that the multiplication effect, right, of this last cycle has kind of like been significantly smaller than, of course, in the previous cycles. And if we break where we currently are right now, then the drawdown will be, bigger as a representative faction to its multiplication effect in terms of its gain than what we've seen in previous cycles, which would be crazy, actually, which would actually like signal something fundamentally breaking in the chart, right? Something fundamentally breaking in the markets. And that is currently where we are. So let's see who knows, right? It's just gonna be so poetic if we get like a perfect bounce off of this like 3 months EMA, the EMA 20. If we kind of like have a perfect bounce above that, it's gonna be pretty cool. Let's see. We never know, right? That's the thing, we never know. But essentially that's it. We're gonna see. We're gonna see how things play out, and then we're gonna respond, I guess. But yeah, there's also something very interesting now that you talk about it, right? There's also something very interesting that Benjamin Cohen said about Litecoin. I'm gonna pull it up right now, and I really like that Benjamin Cohen, in fact, like talks about Litecoin a lot, because he might not be the most Litecoin optimistic person in the world, but this is someone who talks about Litecoin, right? This is someone who mentions Litecoin. I mean, this is someone who Litecoin actually has a lot of mind share in his brain. Like Litecoin actually occupies space in his brain. And yeah, that's pretty interesting, right? It's pretty interesting to see that. So this is it. Yeah. So share the stab instead. Okay. So so this is it. So can't believe Litecoin is at the same price as when I first entered the market in 2018. And what was the response? This is why opportunity cost is important. Yeah. And this post, right? It's a pretty interesting one in my opinion, right? Because this post, people might see it as just him dunking on Litecoin, but in my opinion, this is him kind of like suggesting that Litecoin will still have its time, but the period between when you bought and when it has the time can be so like wide apart that you might end up losing a lot in between. And that kind of like, it's a very big distinction from someone who absolutely like hates Litecoin and thinks like Litecoin is shit, it's going to zero. That's not Benjamin Cohen's perspective, from what I understand. And I've watched Benjamin Cohen a lot. And one of the things he says about Litecoin is he doesn't understand how to read Litecoin chart. And I don't think anybody understands how to read Litecoin chart. You can't know when to trade Litecoin, how to trade Litecoin. If you do, you're kind of lucky. It's kind of like the strangest coin in all of crypto. And I mean this in all sincerity. Like, it's the strangest coin when it comes to like its chart. You can't predict it. He doesn't understand how to read it. It's so hard to read. And another thing he says is like, it kind of like talks about, oh yeah, it's been bleeding against BTC. But I mean, Benjamin Cohen is a smart guy. He understands like Litecoin is a fundamentally strong asset. And beyond this, fundamental strengths of Litecoin in terms of like its adoption, usage, blah, blah, blah. It's also a very structurally significant asset. This is an historical asset. This is an asset that actually has so much market history. It's a commodity. It's widely integrated. It's widely accepted. It's everywhere, right? It's in all of the available, access points for liquidity. So like he understands that like when apathy gets to a certain point, the opportunity for violent reversal in Litecoin is just there. It will be there, right? And he understands this. But he also understands the fact that as an investor, and this is part of the things why a reason why like he's such a brilliant investor. Like he understands like as an investor, right? What you cannot do. Oh my God, I screwed that out. What you cannot do, right, is you cannot make investment decisions where you're just doubling down on an asset over and over and over without considering the years that might get lost in between. And at the end of the day, yes, the asset performs, but what might happen is that you might end up losing a lot of like possible upsides you could have gotten from other, just adjacent assets, right? For example, assets like, I don't know, think about silver, right? Silver's just had it's an incredible generational run, right? From mid-teens all the way to 120 something. That is a 10x, barely like basically like an 8x essentially that silver has done over like 2 years. It's a commodity. It's a multi-trillion-dollar asset that's kind of like pulling crypto numbers in a very short time, right? And all the silver bugs are celebrating, right? They're celebrating. They understand. Yeah, it's like yeah. We're serious. The silver's just doing crazy things, but then the time between. Imagine if you actually bought into silver like 2001 or 2013 or 2012 or something like that. Within that decade or so, where silver basically did nothing, you essentially, you missed out on a lot of upsides. You would have simply gotten from kind of like investing in the stock market, right? You bought the S&P 500. There's a lot of upside. You could have probably like doubled to tripled that money in the same time period if you're kind of like calculating it with like a 10% annualized for the S&P 500. And if you consider other opportunities as well, I mean, you could have made a lot of money being long Bitcoin, right? Just trading Bitcoin, holding Bitcoin. If you're getting a lot even bigger upside. And essentially that's where the opportunity cost kind of like comes into the question. Because it's not a question of whether or not these assets will perform. It's like when. It's a question of when. When will they perform? And what's the distance between when you buy and when they perform? And this is kind of like his entire thought about Litecoin. I don't think he believes or he thinks Litecoin is dead or Litecoin is bad or Litecoin is a trash asset, is irrelevant. He thinks it's been underperforming for quite a long time, and you can never really, someone like him at least, can never really make a bet on Litecoin when it's going to overperform, because like that time, within that time period, you might end up like losing a lot. But now, conversely, right, and this is where I personally will not. And a lot of Litecoiners are still betting on Litecoin regardless. I think a lot of Litecoiners, in fact, do understand this opportunity cost thing. But if you want, this is one of the things about commodities, right? You cannot know when the pop-off is going to happen. And yes, if you go chase something else within that time period while you're kind of like waiting for this asset to kind of like wake up, if you go chase something else, yes, you might catch some upside from this other thing that you're chasing. But whenever these assets starts moving, it's not gonna move in a way that is, is gonna be like, oh, perfectly aligned for you to rotate back your capital, right? It's not like everyone who's kind of like sidelined on Litecoin watching it from the side. It's not like by the time Litecoin is ready to move, they will know before the move starts. Or they will know kind of like when the move starts. No, they're going to realize late into the move that has started. And they're only going to be able to like catch scraps from this move. And that's just the reality of it. Is those that suffer the opportunity cost that would end up riding, most of the gains all the way to the top. Because like, I don't think someone like Benjamin Cohen will be, allocating into Litecoin at 140 something. Maybe 250 something because it's more of like, smart money. But like you can consider like 250 something, Benjamin Cohen like buying in 250 something or something, kind of like waiting for that all-time high break, blah, 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 kind of like iron out. To a diehard Litecoiner is just DCAing every single freaking dip all the way to like 50. You kind of think about it, right? From 250 to like 2,500, let's imagine that's where the cycle peak is at. That's a 10x. But for someone who bought like $50, that's a 50x. If my brain knows mathematics, yes, that's a 50x. My brain, in fact, knows mathematics. And you can kind of like look at that. Like that's where the perspective of some Litecoiners is like, crypto, it has the exponential factor. And the opportunity cost sometimes can be worth it. Like when you understand there's an asset that can go up by orders of magnitude, it's kind of worth the wait. I mean, of course, you're not going to allocate your everything inside, but allocating a significant percentage, I don't know, 10, 15, 20%. By the way, this is not financial advice, by the way. Yeah, but like allocating 10, 15, 20% to it with the potential to like 50x, that will change your life. So like the opportunity cost is worth it. And most people will not buy Litecoin at 250. Just even most people that are like sidelined and understand that it actually has some potentials, because you're going to see it as topping at 200 and something. It's when it has broken all-time highs and confidence is starting to get back into the market, like $600, $700. Now $1,000 starts to look like a target. $1,000, $1,400. Now the voices that are calling for $10,000 are going to get louder. They're going to get more dominant. Now you're going to have people that have never talked about Litecoin for years talking about Litecoin. And that is when a lot of people are going to buy inside. So like those sitting on the sidelines, of course, they're not going to have to bear any of the opportunity cost. But of course, they're also not going to be able to enjoy most of the upside, especially the violent upsides. And that is the reality. So it's like pick your poison. So I get Benjamin Cohen's perspective on why he might not have been a fan of Litecoin over this past years, just because the opportunity costs have been a lot. They've been a lot, actually, a lot. Like you'd have been better off buying a lot of things if you're like squarely invested in Litecoin. But of course, like those that are inside, we kind of like know this, right? I kind of like understand Litecoin can decide to do absolutely fucking nothing for the next 5 years, and I'm fine with it. And that's kind of like the perspective of so many Litecoiners, even so many other Litecoiners, especially the ones that have been here before me. They're kind of like ready to like wait, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years. I know I can wait 10 years, 15 years, much longer. Of course, it's going to be depressing at some point, right? Especially if we're not really seeing fundamental metrics improving. But yeah, there are a lot of Litecoiners that are willing to wait 40 years even. And, it's a thing of pick your poison. And yeah, I get his perspective. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. But yeah, one more upside to this is just the fact that Benjamin Cohen really thinks of Litecoin a lot. He really thinks of Litecoin a lot. And he understands that Litecoin is not one of those assets that's just going to go away. It has staying power. You can't take that away from it. It's one of the only 12 coins or so that have staying power, real staying power, are real commodities, have real network effects, and can't just crash and die to nothing. And he understands. And he understands that the time is going to come. He just doesn't know when. Just like every responsible investor. All right, so we're going to go through some of the comments. And I guess, after that, I'm just going to script the Litecoin sketch that I want to script. Yeah, so this is why opportunity cost. Okay, yeah, okay, I've read that. So, okay, this is Litecoin Lion. All you care about is fiat value. Focus on growth of the network. Do better. Yeah, actually. But I don't think, like, from my perspective of like Benjamin Cohen, he never really talks about like fundamental value at all. He just looks at a chart and kind of like gives his TA, looks at charts, looks at macro, and he gives his TA. He gives his 2 cents on what he thinks about the market based on those. And he really doesn't care about whether or not it's fundamentally sound. He sees it as like, his perspective is kind of like, oh, the market's treating every crypto as kind of like the same thing, just lumping them into commodities. And he kind of like has a perception that in that case, he has no reason to kind of like tell himself that, oh, there's anything significant about any of these things. So he's just seeing it as the market's calling them commodities. I'm going to call them commodities as well, right? I'm not going to call them anything but commodities. And I'm just going to treat all of them the same way. That's kind of like his perspective. It's going to be cool to see how that evolves. I'd really like to see what he's going to say when Litecoin is in like the thousands, but because that's going to be pretty interesting to see, actually. So, okay, this is from Bog. Hope you're ready for the revenge tour, LTC. Yeah, it's a pretty cool chart from Bog. I like that. I'm not really a fan of like waves, but I really like this. I like that. Yeah. Are you ready, Ben? Nice. And Master, this is where you go all in on Litecoin. I just love Master. Like it's just always like, talking all these positive things about Litecoin. It's so cool. You like data? Check network growth of Litecoin against Bitcoin. That's from Peter. Oh, nice, Peter. Oh, CryptoCom still feeling threatened. I don't think so. Well, you kind of like get Ben's perspective. You kind of get it. Like he's an investor. That's all he cares about. Please read this article, Benjamin. I really like this. I like the fact that like the Litecoin community, we just came out at it, right? LTC died when the CEO dumped all of his bag in 2018. Agreed. Okay. Now I don't know if Ben is trolling here. Now this is a pretty ignorant thing to say or to agree to. I mean, LCC died when the CEO dumped all his bags. Like, is this really? Oh my God! Like this Web3 slot tokens, they've kind of like bastardized this, this space beyond any meaningful, state of common sense. For someone to be saying LTC has a CEO, like there are really people that don't understand how decentralized commodities, decentralized P2P, censorship resistant cash work. It's pretty interesting to see. And Benjamin Cohen agreed. Interesting to see this. I don't know if he's trolling, honestly. But if he's going to agree to Litecoin having a CEO that dumped his bag in 2018, Ah, man, that's pretty ignorant, bro. That's one of the most ignorant things you can fucking agree to. Like, I don't get. Dude, write things that will make people happy. Okay. I don't think that's the case, but yeah, I guess that's not. I don't really. All right, let's look at more replies. There are only two unavoidable truths. Everyone dies one day. Litecoin bleeds against Bitcoin. Oh boy, oh boy. I love seeing takes like this because takes like this kind of like remind me that again, Litecoin's in a state of capitulation, absolute capitulation. And if there is even a 1 in a million chance that this thing actually catches a spark and gets to the point, like at least on a speculative, on the speculative point of view, right? The network is strong, the adoption is there. That's not going away. That's only going to continue to grow. But like, if this thing actually ends up like catching that speculative spark and it goes on a run, it's going to be an explosive run because like the difference between what people currently think now and the point where there's like a general consensus that it is in fact valuable is just so much. The difference is so fucking much. It's incredible. It's very incredible to just, oh boy. Opportunity cost is the hidden tax of every safe decision. That's pretty wisely said. Yeah. I kind of like that. Wouldn't it be funny if at the end of this upcoming cycle they pushed LTC to 1,000 as a replacement for both Zcash and Bitcoin? Baron Hakkinen, you're pretty freaking smart. Like, who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? What if? What if? You never know. 1,000's a little too low though. You have to think bigger. I mean, 1,000 is gonna be. I mean, there are a lot of people that are expecting Litecoin to get to 1,000. Like Litecoin at 1,000 is gonna be like apathy. Like people are gonna say, yeah. I mean, you've kind of been waiting for it to get to 1,000, right? 1,000 is like, yeah, duh, dude. We've been waiting for 1,000 since like what 1945. Like, yeah, we won World War II. And we're like, yeah, Litecoin should have gotten to like 1,000 before we got to the moon, right? Before literally made it to the moon. I don't think 1,000 is like gonna be euphoric in my opinion. Like what's going to be euphoric for Litecoin is like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. Like that's when people are really going to start like making absolute statements about like how Litecoin is the better Bitcoin, it's the perfected Bitcoin, it's the this, it's the that, blah blah blah. That's kind of like where I'm going to like them to push it to. Think who bought Bitcoin in 2021. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Can't believe ETH has been in the same range for half a decade. Oh, bro, just half a decade. Ask a Litecoin Maxi. We're gonna tell you how it feels. Regardless of the price being the same as 2018, those buyers of 2018 had opportunities to sell in the summer of 21 for an 8x. Also, plenty of scenarios for 3x in 24 and 25. More of the story here. It all depends on your entry position and trading activity since 2018. Makes sense. I mean, as a trader. Makes sense. One thing to understand is like, you have to have like perspectives on Litecoin. You have to understand like Litecoin as a speculative investment and Litecoin as an actual store of value. And you need to be able to like separate this. And this is not financial advice. This is my opinion, right? And it is very important, right? Because again, one thing I try to never like. One thing you should never forget, I don't want to just internalize this, is Litecoin is still a bet on having permissionless money that can actually replace what we have with the current financial system and, can resist any form of censorship or takeover. You have to think about a reality where it actually fulfills this role, right? And, in this case, you should have that in your mind. You should have that at the back of your mind, right? To just look at that and just look at Litecoin from that angle. And that from that angle, you're going to be able to like, of course, if it doesn't perform over the next 5 years, if it doesn't perform over the next 10 years, it's going to be very disappointing. But at the back of your mind, you're not really going to be in a position where you're like absolutely brutalized because you still understand you're betting on something. You're taking a chance at backing the potential future of the entire world's money. That's pretty freaking huge. That's pretty freaking huge. And let's say we stay range bound or we never really do anything too significant in like 5-10 years. That's something that you can always have at the back of your mind, and kind of like makes the present factor of the price not so depressing. It kind of like hopeful, right? And you're just gonna, if you're someone like me, continue to try to push for more adoption. It's just my perspective on it. It's just my perspective on it, how I see it. But I think more people should probably think from that angle, right? Because again, it's gonna continue to grow. That's it. And once you think about it beyond the trading aspect a lot, you're going to be able to like resist more disappointment. Of course, you're going to feel bad the price not going up. We're all humans. I'm not going to try to like sit and like act like I'm above that. We're all humans. We're going to feel it. And you just have to have something else that you kind of like value about it to be able to tolerate that and just keep moving towards the direction. It's almost like when you have a goal or a dream in life and there are like inconveniences. The inconveniences could be really brutal, but like you just understand that this goal beyond just the money out of it is kind of like worth pushing and worth like following. And then you just continue to follow it. Opportunity cost matters more than just avoiding losses long term. This is why you should sell altcoins at a profit and accumulate Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still the king. Oh my God, I like this absolute certain takes about Bitcoin being the king, blah, blah, blah. That's pretty cool. I'd really like, it's gonna be so funny if like Bitcoin gets into a position of like long-term relative weakness against altcoins that kind of like lasts like at least 2 cycles. It's gonna be pretty interesting to see how these people are gonna like, oh my God, like everyone is so set up to get royally fucked in this market with this BTC only or BTC Supreme thinking. It's gonna be so cool to just watch everyone get fucked up the ass over the next how many years if we actually end up seeing a situation where coins like Litecoin and these other coins in the proof of work sector that have actually been growing fundamentally, but like the price haven't caught up, start eating from Bitcoin's market share over multiple cycles, over like 6, 7, 8 years, and it's just going to be very interesting to see how what the talking points of all these people are going to be. I believe with that being said, that's all I have to say about this post. I need to go into scripting this sketch. I really want to script it live. The last time I tried to script a sketch live, I couldn't because we talked about a lot of things and we kind of like had a conversation. There's not a lot of people on the streets, so there's not a lot of people that want us to converse, right? So that's something we're gonna have to work with. So I want to make a sketch, but I don't have any angle that I want to go with. I don't have any angle in my mind that I know that I want to go with. And my mind is just like, I want to make a sketch. What's it going to be about? FYI, when I make this Litecoin sketches, I just kind of like sit down and like the entire script just gets into my head. And I mean, maybe I think of something random. What is something I haven't thought about right in a while? What are we going to talk about? Hold on. What is one topic I haven't touched on? Yeah, liquidation, futures trading, or how am I gonna? What would a script around futures trading be? So you get liquidated and you cry. What's that angle gonna be like? You get liquidated and you cry. So like this is my first idea, right? You get liquidated and then you start crying. That's like my first idea. No, I don't really like that. You get liquidated. When you get liquidated, what's okay? Oh, imagine a sketch where you get liquidated and you kind of like have like you go through like an entire anxiety attack, and it's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and that kind of like works, and it's like, are you winning, son? Oh no, that's dumb. That's not. I need to think of a punchline. What's a punchline? What if a centralized exchange, you get liquidated, but like it's in front of like in a centralized exchange, and they're kind of watching you get liquidated. This is gonna be a cool angle for a sketch. Oh my god, is there any sketch like that? Like you get liquidated, but like centralized exchange is kind of like they're just watching, and they're just like laughing as you get liquidated. What's that gonna be like? What's that conversation gonna be like? So like, and you just see the pop up in your screen. I'm getting liquidated, and then the centralized exchange just kind of says, "Look at him, is about to get liquidated," and like they kind of like make it bad. It's like, yo, $50 is about to get liquidated, and they kind of like cast lots, and like, and someone goes, no, $50 is gonna add margin, and then you add margin, and they all laugh, blah, 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 and then you get liquidated, blah, blah, blah. That fucking sucks. I'm not doing that. No. That's not gonna be funny. I don't see what that would end up being. What's a good idea? Do any one of you guys even have one idea that I can use for? Oh yeah. So what if liquidation, but like it's an in-person liquidation? So like the centralized exchange, they kind of like meet you in person, and they like remind you like you're about to get liquidated. So like in this way, it's like a personification of the whole thing. Like, I mean, that's the whole point like of sketches. Like you kind of like caricature real events, right? Like you caricature it. So imagine we can make like a liquidation process more personal. Instead of like getting liquidated on the screen, like a Binance agent kind of like walks in like, you're about to get liquidated. Holy fuck. That, bro, why am I swearing? I swear I want to stop fucking swearing. Moving on. And anyways, what are we talking about? Yeah, liquidation. All right, cool. I think I have the angle. So it's like liquidations, but it's like personified, right? Personalized, personified. I don't know, whatever, potato. We're saying the exact same thing, right? So liquidation, you're about to get liquidated. But it's like, it's not like it's a physical liquidation. Like the Binance agent actually walks into your room and is like, you're about to get liquidated. And so what's like the response? Okay, I think I have to script that. I think it's kind of flowing in. Oh my god, I'm in flow state. Oh my god, you're about to get liquidated. By the way, I write my sketches because like typing sketches is one of the ways you can easily get uninspired. Like if you're typing a sketch, fuck no, X Grok for ideas, God forbid. I am a creative. I never do that. Sorry. Thanks for the suggestion though. But no, I never ask a Grok for ideas. I always come up with my ideas from my head. Like I literally just think about any scenarios, because like that's the beautiful thing about sketches is that like there's an infinite like idea. You just have to be creative. Like every single conversation can be an idea, every single scenario. Like we have this funny things that happen on a day-to-day basis, just conversations that can be spun off in a funny ways. Like that's the whole point of a sketch, right? You have like our ideas and things like this. It's so easy to do, and like your creativity can kind of like span in ways that this freaking large language models can. And just think about this, right? Imagine liquidation, but it's like personal. I don't think this is something that Grok can ever imagine. And you're gonna freaking like the result when you see it. Like, and by the way, Edward, you're kind of like the only guy, like you're kind of like the only person who's like gonna know what the sketch is about before it comes out. And like that's so freaking cool. I'm kind of like scripting the sketch with you. It's kind of like cool, right? Sometime the brain gets stalled like now that's a funny one. That is a very funny one. Yeah, that is so hilarious, dude. Yeah, but no, my brain never gets stalled when it comes to sketches. Like I literally pop out any ideas. Like if I don't think I really ever get to a point where like I have when it comes to sketches, like where I have like you know, a writer's block. You can just look at my sketches, right? The ones I've done that are Litecoin related. Like there's not, it's the angles I use for the sketches. There's just diverse. It's like a million angles. Like I have like, it's just gonna pop up. I don't think my brain's ever gonna get stalled. And if my brain's gonna get stalled, I'm gonna come to your DM to ask you for an idea, I guess, or something. But no, I'm never gonna use. I don't use AI. It's just not. It's not. I really like the fact that my sketches are like ideas. Like bro, they are like ordinary. They kind of like feel like natural conversations or something. I don't know. They feel every day. They have this everyday feel to them, and they're very natural. And like you guys can enjoy it. I like people that are watching the sketch. You all are actually enjoying it, and I really love that. It's something I'm really grateful about, and I just want to continue to like keep that like creativity and like realness to it. Kind of. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it does. I really hope it does. But anyways, just watch the sketch unfold right now. So yeah, the Binance agent walks into and is like, "You're about to get liquidated," and the guy kind of like, "Huh?" It's kind of like shocked, like, "Huh? What that mean?" And the Binance agent's kind of like, "That means you're about to lose every single." No. I have to script it. Hold on. Wait. So so the Binance agent is like, "You're about to get liquidated." So yeah, it's like beyond the scripts. I also have to get like the facial expressions, like what is the personality of this Binance agent, right? So it's gonna be an obnoxious person. So you can just think about like the most AI person possible. So it's not like someone just working, like he has to have this like green smile, this fake smile, like this HR smile, like when like you're talking with an HR person, but like this person's life fucking sucks, but they have to like put on that fake smile when they're like delivering bad news to you. It's like, we actually think you're not a fit for this company. You're actually gonna lose your job. Yeah, we think you're actually getting sacked tonight. Oh no, it's nothing personal. It's just company decision. It has absolutely nothing to do with you. It's just what is that type of that kind of like personality. So that's the personality of like the person. Bang on. So like, what's gonna be the personality? Like, what's gonna be the personality though of? What's gonna be the personality of the person, like the person who's being told? I'm thinking more like a smug. Oh no, I don't want him to be smug. I want him to be like clueless. Like, huh? What it mean? What does it mean? Oh yeah, I can make him Middle Eastern. I can give him like a Middle Eastern accent or something. It's like he has a Middle Eastern accent, and like he's kind of like, huh? What that mean? All right, cool. So that's you're about to get liquidated. So that's the Binance agent, and he's like, huh? What that mean? Huh? What does that mean? Okay, what does that mean? Whatever. What does that mean? It means your entire trading position is about to get closed. It means your trading position is about to get closed. Okay. Trading position is about to get closed. Is about to get closed. So what's going to be the response? Huh? Habibi, I gonna lose a lot of money. And then the Binance is going to respond, "You're going to lose all of your money, to be exact." Okay. Yeah, that's a good way to go about it. All right. So Habibi, I'm going to lose a lot of money. Habibi, I gonna lose a lot of money. Lot of money. Habibi, trade this loss. Oh my God, I have to think this out, right? Habibi, I'm gonna lose a lot of money. Or Habibi, trade this in loss. I'm gonna lose a lot of money. Habibi, trade this in loss. Habibi gonna lose lot. Okay. Habibi, trade this in loss. Okay, trade this in loss. I have to put that. Trade is in loss. Habibi, trade this in loss. I'm gonna lose a lot of money. You're gonna lose all of your money, to be precise. Yeah. That's like, it's gonna be the response. Oh my god. You're gonna lose all your money, to be precise. Yeah. You're gonna lose all your money, to be precise. So what's the next dialogue gonna be? How can I stop that from happening? Yallah, how can I stop that from happening? Oh my god. I have to put that in a way that kind of like flows, right? So what's the next line gonna be? So okay, let's just add what we have out. You're about to get liquidated. Huh? What does that mean? It means your trading position is about to get closed. Habibi, trade this in loss. I'm gonna lose a lot of money. You're gonna lose all of your money, to be precise. Yeah. Okay, so what's the next line of dialogue gonna be? What's the response gonna be? What can I do to stop it? Absolutely. How can I stop it? Okay. So how can I stop? How can I stop it? And then what's the next thing the guy says? How can I stop it? You absolutely cannot stop it unless you absolutely cannot stop it unless you add some margin, of course. Okay, yes, that's the next one. Because like, okay, how am I gonna spin this off, right? So it's gonna be like Binance agent tells him it's about to get liquidated, and then he knows like, oh, how can I stop it? And so like the Binance agent kind of like gets him to add some margin the first time, and immediately it adds the margin, it gets liquidated again. It gets close to liquidation, and it goes like, you're about to get liquidated again, and like it's already dropped again, and it goes like, oh, okay, I don't think I'm doing that anymore. And the Binance agent kind of goes, but you're gonna get liquid. Okay, no. What does the Binance agent say after he refuses? Oh, then the Binance agent says, what does the Binance agent say? Then the Binance agent says, would be a shame if you lost that to a week, right? How do I okay, I'm gonna get there, whatever. The Binance agent says something and kind of like reconvinces him, and then he puts another margin, and then he gets liquidated. Okay, it's shaping out well. I have to finish it up. I think I'm just gonna write the script out as it's playing in my mind, and I'm gonna read what I've got out. All right. So, okay, I'm gonna do that. That's what I'm gonna do. When I see it, when I'm done with it, we're gonna see it. We're gonna see if it actually come out nice or if it actually not come out nice. We're gonna see it. Okay, we're gonna enjoy some fine background as I figure that out. What is margin? Okay. This sketch might kind of end up like like becoming a kind of like low key way to kind of like make people like, or kind of like, I don't know, discourage what's it, leverage trading, I guess. Who knows? Who knows? Let's see. That's kind of how it's shaping up right now. Right. So what is mountain? More money, sir. More money added to your position. More money added to if you had margin. Nice. I think it's coming out well. At the end of this, when I'm done scripting, I'm just gonna like kind of like preliminarily act it out, I guess. It's kind of like show what to expect. It's kind of like nice. More money added to your position. If you add margin equivalent to your trade amount, your liquidation price gets pushed down by a progressive factor of about 50%. Oh shoot! I made a mistake. Liquidation. Oh my god, this all looks scattered. What is margin? More money added to your position. If you add margin equivalent to your trade amount, your liquidation price gets pushed down by a progressive factor of 50%. Oh, yalla. Just that. So here's what I have now, right? So this is it. This is it. If anyone's still here, I don't know if anyone's still here. I'm just gonna read it out anyways. So you're about to get liquidated, huh? What does that mean? It means your trading position is about to get closed. Huh? Habibi, trade is in loss. I gotta lose a lot of money. You're gonna lose all your money, to be precise. How can I stop it? You can, unless you add margin, of course, or you double down on the position. What is margin? Essentially, more money added to your position. If you are margin equivalent to your trade amount, your liquidation price gets pushed down by a progressive factor of 50%. I don't understand. Your liquidation price drops from 60 to 50. Yalla, Litecoin sitting on support at $61 now. Not chance for $50. Okay, I add another 1,000 to trade. That's where we are right now. Let's go. Hold on. Cool. Yalla, Litecoin sitting in support at 61 now. No chance for 50. Okay, I add another 1,000 to trade. Another. Okay. I kind of love Middle Eastern accent. Like, it's so rich because like there's this angle to like a Middle Eastern accent that like it's kind of lost. Like, they're very expressive, like when you're Habibi, what are you doing? Yallah. I kind of like it. I like it. I really like it. I've wanted to use like a Middle Eastern accent in a Litecoin sketch for a while, and I got to do it in this sketch. It's pretty cool because it's so expressive, and I don't have to like yell or like raise my voice or like, I'm saying, like I can pretty much like talk calmly, I'm saying, and I can pretty much like talk pretty calmly. I don't really need to raise my voice to kind of like make it funny, because like that's like, it's such a cop out when you have to like raise your voice to kind of make the sketch fun, and I don't want to do that. So that's why I'm just one of the things like Middle Eastern accent really does is like you can talk without like shouting, like yalla baby, what, I just add more money to position. Beautiful, like Cristiano. Wonderful. This sketch will be out by tomorrow, by the way. Tomorrow is Friday. It's gonna be out by Friday, so y'all gotta watch out. You better watch out, because me I come for ya. Pretty freaking cool, right? What? I just add more money to position. Oh my God, look who's in the building. MKXPL. Shout out to you. Where the have you been, bro? You where have you been, bro? I've missed you so much. How you doing? I'm scripting a sketch, by the way. I don't know if you've been seeing the sketches, bro. Yeah, what else is he just doing? Okay, kind of working out. Okay, now I think I've hit a dead end. I have to just read out the entire script, and then the next part is gonna come to me. You're about to get liquidated. Huh? What that mean? It means your trading position's about to get closed. Baby, trade is in loss. I gonna lose a lot of money. You're gonna lose all your money, to be precise. Huh? How can I stop it? You can. Not unless you add margin, of course, or double down on the position. What is margin? Or more margin, more money added to your position, essentially. If you add margin equivalent to your trade amount, your liquidation price essentially gets pushed down by a progressive factor of 50%. I don't understand. Your liquidation price drops from 60 to 50. Yalla, Litecoin sitting on support at 61 now. No chance for $50. Okay, I add another 1,000 to trade. You're about to get liquidated. Huh? Habibi, I just add more money to the position. Yeah, but LTC just dipped to 51. Huh? How is this possible? What sorcery is this? Okay, that's the next word. What's the spelling of sorcery? Sorcery. Sorcery. What's the spelling of sorcery? Oh, sorcery. Oh, I kind of spelled it correctly then. Sorcery. Oh, no. Oh my god, I think this is shaping out well. I can see the end of the sketch from now. Like I can literally see the end of the sketch. Oh my god. Hold on. I need to log the in right now. Just get it. Sir, you will liquidate it if you don't have it. Sir, you will liquidate. Sir, you will liquidate it in 30 seconds if you do not add margin. Fine, big money then. Yo. More emergency position than you handed to. And I am done. I am done with the script. I am absolutely done with the script. Oh my God. How long did that take? How long did that take? When did I? That was 40 minutes. Right. That was 40 minutes. Oh my God. I'm done with the script. Oh my God. Is there anyone still here? I don't think anyone's here. I'm going to perform the script though, and then I'm going to go act it out. And when I'm done acting it and I'm done editing it and it's out tomorrow, I can like show people that I scripted it live. Oh my God. It's so cool. Anyways, so this is the script acting it out, right? Of course, it's not going to be cool like when I edit it, but like y'all kind of like get the idea. It's kind of like when you get like the director's quote, right? You kind of like get the quote from the director before the other people get to see the movie. All right, let's see it. All right, this is it. So the Binance agent is kind of like the smiley corporate, obnoxious, like a corporate agent, like this. Just smile, just this fake corporate smile on his face, right? And then the other person is just like a normal person. It's just confused. It's just like, you're about to get liquidated. Huh? What does that mean? It means your trading position is about to get closed. Habibi, trade is in loss. I'm gonna lose a lot of money. You're gonna lose all your money, to be precise. How can I stop it? You can. unless you add margin, of course, or you double down on the trade. What is margin? More money added to your position. If you can add margin equivalent to your trade amount, your liquidation price gets pushed down by a progressive factor of 50%. I don't understand. Your liquidation price drops from $60 to $50. Yalla, Litecoin is sitting on support at $61 now. No chance for 50. Okay, I add another 1,000 to the trade. You're about to get liquidated. What? I just add more money to position. Yeah, but LTC just dipped to $51. How is this possible? What sorcery is this? I wonder how that happened. And then they both stare at each other for like 1 second. And then the guy goes, sir, you're about to get liquidated in 30 seconds if you do not add margin. I'm not adding 1% to the position. Would be a shame if you lost it all to a scam dip. What did you say? What I said. Flush crash to 50, bounce back to 60. And then the agent responds, what you said. And it looks, okay, I add more I add more margin to position than you can liquidate. Okay, what is liquidation price if I add 7,000? $29. You cannot liquidate that. No chance. Okay, done. Sorry, you have been liquidated. Yalla, baby, how come Litecoin price rise to $65? There was a flash crash. Yalla, this is scam. How come price flash crashed to exactly $28.9? I wonder how that happened. Okay. Now, when I act it out and when I edit it and when I put it all together, it's going to be less cringe than that. But yeah, you get the idea. We have just successfully scripted an entire sketch here live with you guys. It's kind of cool. This is the first time I'm doing it. I'm very happy. And now I'm going to go work on it. I'm going to go film it. And yeah, so that's a lot. That's the end of the stream, guys. Shout out to you for joining. If you are a fan of this, if you, as usual, we host the Lite Hour live stream every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 5 p.m. EST. So if that's your cup of coffee, if that's your cup of coffee, you know where to find me. If you're on YouTube, of course, you got to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you're joining us in X, you have to go ahead and follow the page. Lite Hour live stream every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 5 p.m. EST, except the final week of each month. And with that being said, I'm going to be calling this the end of today, and I will catch you guys in the next stream. Bye-bye. I got to end stream.